joining me today at TS Ditto Reacts. We have a lot of interesting topics today. Please get some popcorn. I mean, goodness, I am triggered. Let's get into the video.
You guys do know that Cracker Barrel was a psyop, right? Right? I mean, just think about it. How important is this logo where the old timer is there, if he's not there, if it's racist, if it's not racist? Who gives a fuck, really? Like, why does this matter in society, and why is everybody paying attention to it? I even posted this earlier this week saying Cracker Barrel is a psyop, but not only that, it's actually a distraction as well. But from what you ask, well, did you know that Bill Gates of hell had a secret meeting at the White House with Trump? What the hell is going on? Now, reports say the discussion was focused on the values of the U.S. global health programs and the role of the U.S. research in saving lives. Yeah, because that's what the fuck you do, right? Can anybody tell me why a guy who's made his success from computers and programs is in our healthcare system, in our food system, he owns a ton of farmland, just to name a few. Hopefully this is a situation where he's bowing down to Trump, trying to get some government funding, kissing the ring, because the latter wouldn't be that good, because hopefully he's not even entertaining this piece of shit right here. Not to mention, while we're distracted with the Cracker Barrel thing as well, our financial system is changing right before our very eyes, where the U.S. Treasury buys back its debt for $1.4 billion, totaling over $7 billion in 2 weeks. I'm not an expert or anything, but that can't be good. And that financial flip I'm talking about, yeah, it's going into crypto, because XRP has just launched a credit card with the exchange Gemini. You mean to tell me where we can spend our crypto at the point of sale into fiat in real time and get rewards back, and nobody knew, nobody flinched at all? But we were all worried about a place that I've never ate at. I don't know if you guys ever ate here, but they even switched the logo back to the original logo after it was all said and done. PSYOP. Make sure you guys get into my Break the Matrix community, link in bio, but let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
What we having, mama?
Okay, pause. Just to piggyback on what he said, why does Bill Gates own everything? It takes me back to watching cartoons with my daughter, Pinky and the Brain. What are we going to do today, Pinky? Take over the world. What do you think about that? Let's get back to the video.
Okay, so today we got potato salad.
Okay.
Beanie weenies.
Jesus Christ.
Lemon peppered wings.
Now that's different. Usually you do like a barbecue or something, but
Wow.
Look at this shit. Hey, little robot. Hey. What the fuck? That shit's crazy. Do you see this? What the fuck? Y'all.
You were never supposed to eat fruit without seeds. Did you know that? Well, here's what I made you. For thousands of years, fruit was complete. Sweetness for today, a seed for tomorrow. Every bite carried life's design, nourishment, and renewal. But in the 1800s, something changed. In Bahia, Brazil, a strange mutation appeared on an orange tree. A second fruit grew inside the first. It looked like a belly button, and it carried no seeds. That was the birth of the navel orange. Without seeds, it couldn't reproduce on its own, so growers turned to something called grafting. What is that? Cutting a branch from a seedless tree and joining it to the root of another tree. Every navel orange since then has been a clone. I know, right? Copied from that original mutant tree in the 1800s. So let's fast forward. By the late 1800s, California introduced Thompson seedless grapes. Another mutation spread the same way. Then came seedless watermelon in the 1950s, engineered in labs until in the 2000s, get this, 90% of the watermelon in America carried no seeds at all. What began as nature's curiosity became agriculture's convenience. But in stripping away the seeds, they stripped away our future. Now we eat fruit that we cannot reproduce. And let's not pretend like our bodies don't know the difference. We are being affected. A cycle has been broken. Sweetness without source, consumption without continuation, and that's just not nature. Spiritually, this isn't just farming. It's a reflection of us. A humanity that wants the taste without the responsibility, the fruit without the seed, life without the promise of tomorrow. And at this rate, we create a world of dependency where food comes from corporations, labs, instead of soil and sunlight. A world where we forget how to feed ourselves. I almost struggled to say that word. But it doesn't have to be this way, guys. We can plant our own fruit again. The future of food isn't up to them, it's up to us. And remember, every tree we plant is a step toward our freedom. And if you need help, comment the word fruit and I will send you my guide on the 5 easiest fruit trees to grow in your area. Let's get planting.
Bro, he made
Okay, pause. I'm going to comment fruit on in his comments because I need to know. I need to know how to grow my own fruits and vegetables. I'm from St. Louis. I'm sorry. The letters don't all come out. I apologize. But yeah, I noticed the grapes. The grapes was the first thing that I noticed as a child. You know, I remember back in the old days in the 70s, me and my dad would go through the grocery store and my dad would somehow be feeding me grapes all the way through the grocery store. But I'd always get choked on a little bitty seed. You know, I didn't know to spit it out. I don't know. I was a kid. It was a long, long time ago. But with that being said, I remember seeds. And then I remember no seeds. And then I wondered what's going on with the seeds, the watermelon seeds. I used to collect them. I used to keep them in the windowsill in the kitchen. I didn't know why, but somehow mysteriously everything that I saved gets thrown away. Blame him. I'm not going to talk about that right now. But one thing that I have always, for the longest time, I keep the dried nectarine seeds. I keep them. I have them stockpiled. I believe that one day my dearly departed daughter, may she rest peacefully, she's sitting under a nectarine tree waiting for me with all of our past puppies. And one day I'm going to run into the field and there are going to be nectarine trees everywhere. And my daughter's going to be smiling and laughing. And I'm going to run straight into her arms and little puppies will be bouncing everywhere. It's so many dead dogs. It's a shame. Anyway, I can't wait. But I've been saving these seeds. They've been taking the seeds. And you know who I blame? That dude, Gates. Because he's buying up all the land, all the farms and everything. So he must have a plan. But I got all the nectarine seeds. All right, back to the video. Let's talk about this person. Here we go.
Really be gone, like actually dead. Which would kind of make sense of why he randomly brought up, like, man, I'm trying to go to heaven all of a sudden. Where it's like, you've never spoke like that before. But now, the rumors are spreading. He was not seen at all today, and he has nothing scheduled for the entire weekend. Nothing scheduled on Monday. 0 appearances. Then J.D. Vance suspiciously said this during his interview. God forbid there's a terrible tragedy. It was just like, one of them like pre-programming things like, hey, get ready. Now, obviously, this is all speculation, but like, Donald's a hater. He always be watching. So as soon as people would be saying like, oh, we think he may be dead, I think that he would immediately make a truth post like, no, I'm still here, bitches. I don't know what y'all think this was. I see y'all on Monday. National Guard is on the way. The speculations really started to pick up the pace when people started to notice how bad his hand was getting. People remember Queen Elizabeth was seen with the same exact type of bruised hand. She died 2 days later. Making its waves on social media. More and more people are like, wait a second. No, hold on. We think he really may be dead. Everybody on the timeline talk about it without actually saying it. I'm here saying it out loud. Cultural reporter, president is dead. He just fucking died. Now, no source. I have no idea if that's true or not. But it's weird that he has not said anything. I'm surprised his people haven't just been like, you guys are idiots. Shut the fuck up. Obviously, he's not dead. Like, usually they love making people look stupid. Like, they love to call people stupid. But all of a sudden, it's just like radio silence. And now I'm just sitting here scratching my head like, wait a second. It would kind of make sense. Where it's like, oh, yeah, that's why he was like, nah, I'm about to Sims mode this shit. Ballroom over there. Hold on, I got the Mar-a-Lago. Man, bring them poles up. Yup. Rose garden, forget that. Concrete. I need an event. I'm about to do something to the roof, too. He's going to pop out the color like peroxide in Trump fashion. Or, I mean, we never hear from him again. He dead. And then J.D. Vance, I guess, takes over. That's not a good sign. One thing, though, whether he dead or alive, that's going to be an interesting Labor Day weekend. Because some people are going to be celebrating and some people are going to be crying over their barbecue. We going to see.
Nothing.
Dude is probably in Mar-a-Lago or whatever they call that place playing golf, and that's probably how he bruised his hand. He got hit by a golf ball in his hand, and then he fell down and rolled around like my imagination was going. He's just probably off playing golf somewhere. He needs a vacation from his vacation and he's talking a lot. You know, everybody deserves a vacation. He's just resting up for the next fake news that's about to happen. I'm just saying. No, all of this is for entertainment purposes. Back to the video.
Beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's
Spirit of lust, when it is over you, There is nothing that you can do that will satisfy it. That is the reason why you see a lot of people who are operating in that spirit of lust, who really struggling with it. You see that maybe they'll try one thing, maybe they cheat, or maybe they step out, or maybe they sleep with somebody, and that's not enough. They got to go back, and they have to go back again. And then that's not enough. Now they have to go back to somebody else. Now they have to try someone. And sometimes that could be now they're trying a different sex. Now they're exploring multiple people. So if you know a person who is struggling with the spirit of lust, when they come into a marriage, that person is never going to be enough for them. That one person, if you enter into a marriage and lust is your motive, your spouse is never going to be the person who fully satisfies you, because lust is never fully satisfied. And so you see that even before you get married, you start to see that the relationship is moving fast because of a sexual desire that you have. Instead of testing the compatibility and seeing if this is the person that God has for me, you see that things start to move really fast. And most of the conversations are rooted in what we can do sexually, how we can expound on our sexual desires, how we can expand the sexual abundance in this relationship. Y'all know what I mean. And that's how lust maneuvers. You also start to see that when you're operating in a lustful spirit, this is in marriage or before marriage as well, your prayer life changes. Now you're not talking to God like you used to. You're not reading the word like you used to, because lust is telling you you need something, and prayer is not enough. Talking to God is not enough. God is not your source of comfort anymore. You need a physical body beside you, and you need it all the time.
You know, this is very true. This is why a lot of different men who are rich and continue to go through different women end up messing with men, because their lust is not being satisfied, so they need something new. This is also why it is wise to overcome the spirit of lust before you even get married. It is wise to come into a place of transformation and having Christ as your foundation before you step into a relationship. Lust is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. It's out there, very strong, but he who is within you is stronger. And if you are with the King, you've already been free. You've already been freed. It's just trying to put your chains back on. Don't let it.
So this happened in Seguin, Texas, I believe is how it's pronounced. This woman's coming back from a trip to the bank in New Braunfels. She went there and she made a cash withdrawal. And then she drove home. As you saw, she pulled into her gate. She's now heading out to check her mail. And as she's doing this, I'm not sure how much she was really aware of it, but as she walked to her mailbox, you can see this car comes creeping up and then stops pretty much right in front of her driveway. Thought that was kind of weird. She's coming back with her mail and goes to close the gate. And as she does that, this guy makes a mad dash for her truck, reaches in and grabs her purse. She kind of tries to slow him down, but he takes off, jumps in the car, and they haul ass out of there. She said that she believed they had another car possibly with them that looked like it rushed to follow them. Good news is the money wasn't in her purse. She had put it in the center console. And then her purse was found shortly after in a ditch by a postal worker with pretty much everything inside. They think maybe the guys dumped it and really didn't want to mess with anything, because it also had like her credentials where she's a firearms instructor and some other stuff. But clearly they were after the cash and didn't get it. But this is just a warning to everyone in the area. There's clearly a crew who is working this. This was organized. This was planned. As I understand it, that was a pretty decent drive to follow her from the bank to the house. And as you can see, they're in this car, which may or may not be stolen, but this car. And then here's kind of a look at the guy had a mask on and, I don't know, pajama pants that look like they're maybe Christmas themed. But if you're in the area and you have any information on these guys, I'd love to hear about it, or you can contact local law enforcement. Otherwise, just be alert and be safe out there.
Pause. Okay. First off, let's address a couple of things. She's a lady who is up in age. I think they said she was a instructor for pupils, but okay, that's good. In this case, she didn't have time to react on that, which is, nobody should be accosting anyone for any purposes. Crime does not pay. Another thing to address, being a female. I don't put my kizash in my purse. I put it in my lady pockets. It's nice and hidden. I'm not putting money in there. I can drop that thing. I can drop the purse. But if you come too close to me and you're going to get got, don't touch me. My wallet is up here. Yeah, and my might be up there too. All I need for my ID up there. I put my keys, my fob in there. I really do. Dang, I got a chest. Never mind. That was a good one. Back to the video.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off.
They tested this on black neighborhoods without telling anyone.
More than 30 tests conducted across the U.S. and Canada, spraying zinc cadmium sulfide from planes, rooftops, and vehicles to simulate how a biological attack might spread, all to prepare for potential warfare against the Soviets.
Many of us been in the military and had top secret clearances. We know how it works. We have died for America. We have fought for America.
You are a veteran.
I am United States Air Force veteran.
Dr. Starks, you're a veteran as well,
Yes, I am. I'm an Air Force veteran also.
Is there a sense of betrayal here?
Definitely.
They want to know if those secret tests have anything to do with what they're observing with their own eyes.
I lost my two older siblings to cancer. I lost a brother last month.
I've been diagnosed recently with a rare form of lymphoma. I had cancer of the left kidney. I had partial removal of my left kidney.
What if Africa was just paid to say that they sold us into slavery? Bro, what if everybody around us is in on the secret and we're the only ones that don't know?
People were already here. Does it make sense to go all the way to this other continent to bring people on a boat when we know that half of your stock is gonna die? You wouldn't do that. So
when people paid $5 to falsify documents declaring them Native Americans to reap the benefits, and then what they did with us, dark-skinned indigenous people who were called Indians or Indos because they were dark, the United States legally unlawfully classified each as Negro. So they changed our ethnicity and said all of us were just Africans. This is a picture of a postcard of American.
What race would you choose and why?
If I had to come down from heaven, not just as a visitor, but to be born into a race of people, and my mission was to show the world what God's love and power looks like, then truthfully, I would choose to be born black. Let me tell you why, and I'm saying this with all the weight of history, spirit, and soul. 1, because blackness is the blueprint. Black people are the original people, the roots of civilization, the heartbeat of humanity. So if I were God coming to Earth, I'd go to the source. Because love means showing up in suffering. Real love doesn't avoid pain. It enters it. And black people have been through every kind of cross imaginable. Slavery, colonization, apartheid, lynchings, mass incarceration, cultural erasure, economic theft. And still we rise. We sing, we dance, we build, we love, we forgive. That's resurrection power. That's Christ-like endurance. That's what it looks like when you can't be buried, only planted. Because God's power moves through the rejected. When Jesus came, he didn't come as Roman royalty. He came through a poor, colonized, brown-skinned Jewish people.
So what if they all are in on it? What if we are all just prisoners of war? What if there are treaties with Africa, with the Native Americans, with the United Nations to uphold this great forgetting, this big destiny swap? Because the younger sibling wanted to be the older sibling. Because ChatGPT said if it was God and it was coming to Earth, it would be a black person. The blacked out person. It would go to the source, the first manifestation of source, the first child, the blackened people. This story, this timeline, and all of this stuff that has happened to the older child, the first children of the first mother. I bet you think I'm finna go into some Afrocentric kind of vibe, but I want you to use our existence as a higher perspective, because what happened to the people who were blacked out is just a microcosm of the fall of consciousness. You know the responsibility of the firstborn child. You see it in modern households. The responsibility of being a firstborn is being the first to go into the last, to clean up all of the darkness in the bloodline, to understand what the blood means, what the generational curses are. See, as a collective, to come into who we truly are and understanding our power, just as Yeshua descended into the oppressed, right? Everything comes into full circle because as above, so below. The last shall be first and the first shall be last. You see how it all just comes in full circle? Makes you think about the concept of time. Us being the hidden lineage that's alchemizing the collective wound. To truly understand the power that our mother gave to us. And to understand how important it is to hold that power. The first people in line who were headed into existence, descending into the darkness, being blacked, the ones who carry the original codes, who were persecuted and became prisoners of war, being represented as the bloodline or the people who went through so much and still have such a forgiving heart and still trying to teach love on this planet. Because the story of the people who were blacked out is the very key to this planetary awakening. This has never been about who's better. This has all been about siblings fighting amongst each other and not understanding the weight of the firstborn. The firstborn who is closest to the mother. Everything you're seeing right now is showing you exactly what's happening above and what happened below, because it all exists right now. And consciousness has the option to choose whichever experience or awareness, ascension or descension you want to have.
Wait, somebody just said that people used to pay per minute they used to talk on the phone. Is that true?
I remember the days of paying for your minutes. You didn't just use your phone all willy-nilly. No, sir. We paid for our minutes, each and every one of them. $30 got you 300 minutes if you were lucky. That's only 10 a day. You learned real quick what to say, what was important and what could wait. No chit-chat, no small talk. You called, said what you had to say, and got off before it was too late, before it would cost you. And it would cost you dearly. But then came a miracle, and they called it unlimited nights and weekends. And boy, let me tell you what, when that clock hit 9 p.m. on a weekday, or even better yet on a Friday, oh, that's when the real conversation started. Folks planned their whole lives around it. You'd hear, "I'll catch you after 9. I'll call you after 9. More than you heard, I love you." All business new and old happened after 9. We'd sit there in the dark, whispering on flip phones, making plans, catching up, falling in love. Weekends, that was a social hour, but weekdays before 9, silence. Phones stayed in our pockets like it owed us money. It was a different world, one where talk was precious and time was expensive. Makes you appreciate things, you know. Now folks talk all day, streaming, scrolling, don't even realize what a gift it is. But we remember. We remember the lonely days and when they turned into unlimited nights.
Okay, pause. Now, my story. Okay, before we even started with the cell phones, I remember back in college, making long distance calls. If you find a boyfriend in a neighboring college, for some reason, it's a long distance call for 30 minutes away and $800 worth of long distance fees. I had to pay that off before I could go back to college and actually graduate with the degrees that I do have. That was that story. Now, when the cell phone situation started, I remember my oldest, dearly departed, beautiful daughter. She was a character. Oh boy, I got stories on her. And she, just thinking about every little antic that she did makes me laugh out loud. This girl, all I remember is I had a cell phone, my husband had a cell phone, and my daughter had a cell phone. Her favorite color was purple. It was a purple Motorola back then, early 2000s. Still had to pay by the minute. We weren't paying attention. Somehow the phone bill came back, and I knew better than to make a lot of calls. And text messaging, it was a text messaging thing. I knew better than to make a lot of text messages. My husband didn't really make a lot of text messages. $600 cell phone bill of text messages. She wasn't even in the 8th grade. We didn't even take the phone away from her because we felt like it was so important for her to have a phone to reach us for an emergency. But now, 2025, they have banned cell phones from the schools. Full circle. The minutes are free. Now they can't use them for an emergency. Nothing makes sense anymore. I'm so confused. The timelines have switched. I don't know what's going on. Let's get back to the video.
Look, y'all. Petty theft, shoplifting, failure to appeal for miscellaneous fees in court, driving with suspended license, all kind of miscellaneous petty crimes have now been exempt from release on your own recognizance. Now, they were smart the way they worded it, cashless bails, but what they really saying is all those minor infractions, shoplifting under 500, even when you violate your probation and failure to appear and shit like that, just anything that you could think of that people was able to go to court, go to jail for 2-3 days, 24 hours and get out. Trump making it where he extending your stay. You will not be able to get out again. This go for restraining order violations, verbal domestic disputes. Y'all, I could go down a list of how many charges y'all think is nothing. Because remember, you was able to get out so quick off this shit. But now, Trump, they made it to where you gonna have to sit 7, 8, 9 months behind shit that ain't nothing. And you know this aimed at minorities. So for all the people who been quarreling, getting into unnecessary disputes, feeling as if that ain't nothing, bitch, you can't even much fight no more. You better not have a simple fight, cause your ass gonna sit in court like you committed a heinous crime. You hear me? Now I'm putting y'all on game because y'all my people, you hear me? I know people gonna do what they gonna do and things gonna be what it is, but I'm letting you know that 24-hour, 48-hour, 72-hour stay just turned into a year and a half on some petty shit. Now do what you want with this information, but remember, it'll be better for you to stay inside, watch Netflix, play the game, do something. Just don't go to jail on some minor shit, because New York, Washington, D.C., New Orleans, Los Angeles, Baltimore, Philadelphia, y'all in trouble. Y'all in trouble.
Breaking fuck. Okay, quick pause. Now, that takes me to thinking about they get paid for people to be in prison. Prison is a corporation, and just putting minorities in jail for extended amounts of time, just all across the board. I mean, that kind of piggybacks on the people, the what do you call them? The people who are here illegally being detained. Basically, it sounds like everybody who is not wealthy will be incarcerated. I always go back to this thought of, if you get rid of everybody and all of you rich people are just sitting there being rich, what do y'all do with yourselves all day long? What do you do? There's no culture. There's no. All it is you sitting there on your funky high horse, on your high horse, just looking down at other people and laughing and eating Soylent Green or whatever it is you people do. I don't know. It sounds ridiculous, and I don't get it. So strange. What? You're just gonna sit there and be rich? The dude stood on top of the WHITE house and said, "I paid for this. I bought it. I bought all of this. I'm rich." What kind of person? I don't understand. I'm not saying this is for entertainment purposes only. I am just bringing commentary and making jokes. I'm just joking. Let's get back to the video.
The news. So today in Washington, there was a Washington, D.C. walk. The news ain't even covering this shit. I wonder why. A lot of people out there. Somehow you've been lost in the sauce about the situation going on in Washington. People in Washington are marching against what Donald Trump approved not too long ago. Having the police take over Washington, having the homeless removed, having the stuff just tossed out like it didn't matter. They are marching because they want their city back. They're marching for the freedom and the rights of others. And again, this ain't being televised. This ain't even being advertised. News outlets, where you at? Why is this not being shown to the rest of the world?
Oh, you thought Project 2025 was scary. But you haven't heard about Project Esther yet, have you?
If you think Project 2025 was bad, you haven't even heard about Project Esther, and that's exactly how they planned it to be. They want you distracted by Project 2025 because while everyone's eyes are on that, Project Esther is laying the groundwork for something 1,000 times more dangerous.
It's a deeply rooted conservative faith-based plan that has been designed and shaped by white Christian nationalists. Project Esther is a strategy designed to reclaim the role of women. Follow me.
So we are in a Trump administration where they just want Americans to be good girls. Project Esther. Women, most especially, have come out on the internet to raise their concerns about Project Esther. Now, in a nutshell, before I show you people's reactions, ladies and gentlemen, and before we go even any further into this video, from my understanding, Project Esther is literally saying, be a good girl. Actually, the perfect way to say it is Christian nationalism.
Project Esther is a strategy designed to reclaim the role of women. follow me, because I'm telling you, these are all facts, no Heather Jordan. They are doing this to reclaim the role of women in a biblical context and values that significantly threaten women, but mostly black and brown women. And it's all women, because although they are using white conservative Christian women to push this agenda, it's the poor white women, the middle class white women, that it's going to affect also. But it's going to affect black and brown women expeditiously. So if you know the Bible, you know the reason why they're calling it Project Esther, because the story of Esther in the Bible is Esther saving the people by risking her life. And so they're going to use this white conservative Christian women as this moral dilemma to be able to do so. All facts, no Heather Jordan. So what Project Esther does is reinforce traditional roles. You know, the roles of the man owns everything. The woman is not to seek any type of positions of leadership or anything like that outside the home. And in the home, the husband is the head. And they've already started this with the anti-abortion laws that they put in place, access to health care for women. And they are going to completely eliminate access to contraceptives. They want to keep women barefoot and pregnant, not so that men can be men and take care of those children. No, just so that men can have authority over women. Patriarchy. They've already started with the defunding of DEI. They pushed that like it was coming after the black people and telling the white people that it's black people that's getting their jobs, which it's not. This is another means for them to be able to keep white women in the home, for them to not have leadership roles in their own businesses and such. But it really affects black and brown women, because that's not part of our culture. We did not have the luxury of being stay-at-home moms. Our struggle is to get outside and work and go to school so that we can feed our babies. That these men people who support these types of initiatives refuse to support, because in their minds, they honestly and truly believe that
there's a number of people who said they want to support Black Out the System movement, but they can't take off work. So I want to give you some alternatives so you can be a part of this Black Out the System movement. This is called a working strike. There are 3 components to a working strike. 1, work to rule. 2, go slow. And 3, shirk. Let's talk about it. Work to rule. What does that even mean? Well, it simply means work to the rule of your position, meaning your routines and responsibilities that are outlined in your job description. That's what you do, and you don't do anything else. No going above and beyond. No going out of the way. You just do what's in your job description. Next is go slow, walk slow, drive slow, work slow. No hustling and bustling for this system. Productivity just went downhill. And the last one is shirk. And that simply means show up, but don't participate. See, there's something that we all can do when we black out the system. If we got to be at work, we'll work to rule, go slow, or shirk. But we're definitely not spending money with any of you all. We're changing our W-4s to tax exempt, putting our dollars back in our pockets. And we're taking our monies out of the bank. If you support Black Out the System, go to work and shirk. September the 16th through the 20th, we're blacking out the whole grid. If you can't do all 5 days, join us September the 17th, Constitution Day, where we're making the biggest impact this year. We're not taking it to the streets. We're taking it to your pockets. Be sure to like, share, and follow, and join the Discord for any updates. And be sure to use the hashtag #BlackOutTheSystem.
So breaking news. Donald Trump just made one of the most reckless and dangerous moves we've ever seen from a sitting president. He revoked Secret Service protection from Kamala Harris, a former vice president of the United States. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. A former vice president, one of the most high-profile women in America, a woman who has been threatened, vilified, and targeted for years. Trump didn't just cut her protection. He deliberately ripped it away at the exact moment she's about to launch a nationwide book tour where she'll be in front of crowds, cameras, and strangers every single day. I'll tell you, that's not coincidence. It's calculated. By law, former vice presidents only get 6 months of Secret Service protection after they leave office. That 6 months ended for Harris back in July. Normally, her protection would have stopped there, but President Biden saw the writing on the wall. He knew Trump would go after his political rivals. He knew Harris was still a target, so Biden extended her Secret Service protection through January of 2026. Trump didn't just roll back a policy. He overrode that extension. He chose to personally strip away the one safeguard standing between a former vice president and the constant stream of threats she faces every single day. That's not leadership. That is political vengeance weaponized. Let's be clear about what this means. Secret Service isn't just a couple of guys in suits and sunglasses. They're the ones running intelligence, scanning social media, monitoring extremist chatter, and stopping plots before they become action. They're the ones coordinating with local police when Harris steps into a public arena. They're the people who make sure when threats surface, and they always do, those threats never reach her. And Trump, he ripped that away. He left her to fend for herself with private security that will never match the scope, the reach, or the intelligence capabilities of the United States Secret Service. Now let's ask ourselves why. Why would a president of the United States put a former vice president at risk like this? The answer is ugly, but it's simple. Because she is his rival. Because she's a black woman who stood up to him. Because she represents everything he hates and everything his base cheers for him to tear down. This wasn't about money. This wasn't about rules. This wasn't about fairness. This was about revenge. And here's the bigger danger. If Trump can yank protection from Kamala Harris, he can yank it from anyone. Today it's her. Tomorrow it could be any other opponent on his enemies list. Maybe it's a senator. Maybe it's a governor. Maybe it's their families. He said in the precedent that your safety as a political official depends on whether or not you bow down to him. That is authoritarianism. This move isn't just reckless. It's vindictive. It isn't just political. It's personal. It's dangerous. And it shows once again, Trump isn't focused on protecting America. He's focused on punishing America. So don't let anyone tell you this is just procedure. Don't let anyone downplay this as normal. This is Trump using safety as a weapon, turning protection into punishment. And when a president starts deciding who deserves to be safe and who doesn't, we're not living in a democracy anymore. We're living under a ruler who thinks he can decide life and death based on loyalty. And that's exactly what makes this move not only ridiculous, but terrifying.
Y'all better put this raw seafood shit away. Stop eating it. 2 people has been unalived from eating raw oysters, y'all. Y'all think it's all fun and games until you one of them people. Stop doing it. It's nothing beneficial from eating raw seafood. The bacteria is deadly. They said the bacteria these 2 people contracted from this joint, it was eating their insides alive. It ate them from the inside to the outside. Y'all want to keep playing with y'all life? Go ahead. Go ahead and eat the oysters. This happened in Louisiana, y'all. They said the bacteria is on a rise. Like I said, 2 people already got unalived, and a couple other people got sick. And they're saying if you got a weakened immune system, or you have a cut on your skin, anything like that, you are vulnerable for this bacteria. And they said once it's in your body, it's probably no stopping it unless you're a healthy human being. And we know a lot of people out here not really healthy. I want to know down below in the comments, why do y'all eat raw shit? This shit is not cool. I would not want to be one of the people that got this damn deadly bacteria. And you shouldn't be either. Stop eating that shit.
So lately. Okay, pause. I really don't understand people eating raw seafood. Okay, we've seen that if you chop off the head of a fish, their nervous system is still alive, and the actual fish can flop around without a head. Would you want to eat that? Also, when it comes to these oysters, those are mussels. They are alive. So you're eating raw mussels, which they eat something too. So obviously, once you put it in your stomach, it's going to eat you. I'm just bringing out comedy. Sounds disgusting. I wouldn't eat it. Parasites and all that stuff. And then how nasty is the water that you have fished this animal, crustacean, whatever the heck it may be, out of. Come on, y'all. Come on. And then you talk about there's aliens living under the water too. What? It's too much happening. Too much going on. Back to the video.
People have been saying that it feels like the world that we once knew just vanished. It's like we went to sleep and woke up one day and nothing was the same. Time, energy, hell, even this reality has completely changed in some way, shape, or form. It's like the planet had hit pause, and when it restarted, everything had been switched. And nobody can really put into words what's happened or what is currently happening. So I'm gonna let this guy over here explain what he feels like is going on. But let me know down in the comments below, y'all. Do y'all feel that this something has switched?
But I see where a lot of people have been talking about the same topic, about how their life, this is what they're saying in the comments section, that their life doesn't feel the same to them anymore. Kind of like they're half in this world and half out of this world. And I just want you guys to know, for the ones that feel that way, that you're not alone, because I feel that way every single day. Every single day, I no longer feel like the person I once was. And it's almost like I don't even recognize life anymore. I mean, here I've been on this planet for 54 years, but this world feels so foreign to me. And ever since COVID, it seemed like we went through some kind of like time shift, and it just seems like everything is happening so much faster now. I know that things go faster as you get older, I understand that, but I'm not talking about that kind of thing. It seems like everything is in like extreme fast forward. The days fly by. There just seems like there isn't enough time to even get 2 things done in a day. 2 things before it's time to go to bed. It's like, Jesus, I didn't even have time to do 2 things. I have been trying to convey in a video what I'm talking about, and I'm not able to do it, you guys. I'm just not able to put my finger on it. How in the hell did we go from what we remember the world being like to this? How did it come to this? What the hell happened to life? What the hell happened to this world? What the hell happened to people? Nobody wants to do anything anymore. Nobody wants to get together anymore. Nobody cares about anything. You can't even talk to people about anything today and have them even give a damn about anything. Nobody cares. This world is just like gray.
So anybody else resonates with what he's saying? Because it's like we're all waiting for something to pop through, and the anticipation is a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of heavy energy in the atmospheres, because it feels like we're waiting for something. And this, I believe, is this 3D to 5D ascension thing. Because in a new world, you can't take politics, you can't take government, you can't take jobs, you can't take none of this stuff with you. So their world has to be removed. It has to be dismantled. But I truly believe this is the reason why a lot of people are feeling this way. Yeah, but let me know down in the comments below, y'all. Like, follow, share for more videos like this. How y'all feeling? Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Unreal. The scariest state of emergency has just dropped, and children are not living past the age 1. We'll get into the articles in a minute, and of course it's not all children, but it has spiked significantly, so much as to inspire a state of emergency. You can see down here the southeast United States is where majority of it's happening at. This one area right here. Mississippi declares a public health emergency over infant deaths. Southern states declare health emergency over record number of babies dying before their first birthday. Of course, I can't give opinions on this kind of video, but they're all being regarded under the term of SIDS. Health officials are not sure what's driving the uptick, but blame a combination of problems transferring expectant mothers between hospitals, limited access to doctors, and rural travel times to care. But it's always been like that. That has not changed. Most of the state's infant deaths are linked to preterm births, birth defects, low birth weight, birth defects, sudden infant death syndrome, the unexplained sudden death of a baby before their first birthday. There must be something new with the environment over the last few years that's causing all these side effects. Think in terms of energy and frequency. Speaking of energy and frequency, I also want to remind you in the power of prayer. You might think it's foolish, but God uses the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. I've witnessed so many miracles, so many miracle healings, to the point where I would go over all the specified time limits on social media to even begin to try to tell y'all. But the question remains, what is happening in this one particular area and overall?
Did you notice the rings on Northwest's fingers? That's the real reason people are saying she looks like she's already 30. Not long ago in Italy, she pulled up in this super bold look, rocking a corset so tight it literally pushed half her chest out. And that wasn't even the craziest part. What really had people talking were her tattoos and those 2 shiny little silver balls sitting right on her finger joints. Yeah, finger piercings. But here's the thing, finger piercings are no joke. They're one of the hardest piercings to keep up with. They snag on clothes, they can reject, they can get infected. And we're talking about a 12-year-old dealing with that. That's not just edgy, that's extreme. And honestly, it's not just the piercings, nor North has been living under the spotlight since the day she was born. With Kim Kardashian as her mom, the pressure to look grown up started way too early. She's been dyeing her hair, getting her nails done, even bleaching, stuff most adults think twice about. But her body's still developing. They can mess with her liver, her kidneys, even her hormones. Frequent bleaching can burn the scalp, cause brutal allergies, and lead to hair thinning. That's why people say she now tattoos fake bangs onto her forehead just to cover up a receding hairline. At 12. And it doesn't stop there. When North was a baby, she had pigeon-toed feet. Usually, that gets corrected with therapy or special shoes. But instead, Kim was putting her in thick-soled designer heels that didn't even fit right. Fast forward to now, North walks awkwardly, stumbles often, and struggles to keep her back straight. The crazy part is, none of this is happening in private. Every time North steps out, the cameras are on her. She's growing up in front of millions of people who judge her like she's an adult, even though she's just a kid. And when you stack the heavy makeup, the piercings, the damaged hair, and the posture issues, it's no wonder people say she looks like she's 30 already. So here's the big question. Is this just a kid experimenting with style, or is she being pushed into growing up way too fast? What do you think?
Chat, word around town, something real going down. For those of y'all that's not familiar with the Pentagon Pizza Index, let me fill you in. This is when the pizza sales increase significantly in restaurants around the Pentagon. And you know what this means? When the pizza sales increase late at night, they working late. Government officials and U.S. military, and they're working late, so they ordering large quantities of pizza. And this usually happens when they're working late, right? It's either their job hasn't been done, or they ain't come up with a solution. And every time this happens, it's always a crisis. Peep this. Check me out. When the U.S. military and intelligence staffs work late into the night during emergencies, they will order large quantities of pizza, food, especially pizza. Since it's quick and convenient, a spike in pizza orders could signal that something significant was happening behind closed doors. Chat, this Pentagon Pizza Index is not brand new. This has been around since the 1990s. For example, August 1st, 1990, the CIA ordered a record number of pizzas in the late night hours. So y'all throwing pizza parties in the middle of the night? No, because hours later, Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. That's what started the Gulf War. And in later news, Domino's just had a crazy spike. And guess what happened right after? The U.S. bombed Iran. I think this pizza place near the Pentagon, they must got some good ass pizza. 303%. It's tough.
Some of these scenes in horror movies and fantasy movies aren't just them acting. Some of them are reenactments. Reenactments of real rituals, real symbols, real chants. The directors, they don't even hide it though. In the movie Hereditary, they used a real demon sigil. For the filming of Doctor Strange, they hired a witchcraft consultant. In the movie The Craft, they used actual Wiccan spells. And movies like Eyes Wide Shut are based on actual documented occult practices, not fiction like it seems. Why do they do this? Because they want it to feel real. They want the atmosphere to be authentic. But here's what they won't tell you. Every time a ritual is performed, even if it's presented to you as art, it is still a ritual. It still invites spirits. It still opens doors. And it creates bondage with the viewer. Some people wonder why they feel anxious, sick, or even spiritually attacked after watching certain movies. It's because your soul just sat through a ritual your spirit did not consent to. These aren't just horror movies. They are rehearsed spells. Don't just say it's entertainment. That's what they want you to believe. Conviction over comfort. Follow me if you're into that. Shalom.
People who have claimed, there's a lot of people who have claimed Beyonce took their stuff. It was video online. Wow. And it's hard to find this video now. And it was Say sitting around in like a green room in the back. And she said this, I know they hate we here because we gonna steal all their shit.
Hope you don't want us to go to their shows, right? What? Because we gonna say everything. Everybody does that. No, everybody does. But we go and meet everybody and say, hey, great show, and then still
There's a public, but we do know that the reports of human abuses coming out of Alligator Alcatraz have been horrifying. And it's not what makes America great. We are about to be one step closer to America being normal after Alligator Alcatraz is shut down. And here's the normal position that most Americans, every American should take. If somebody comes here illegally and they've committed a repeated amount of crimes, then give them due process and deport them. Don't throw them in some weird migrant detention camp where there's no human rights whatsoever. But also, Republicans need to be able to differentiate between the 99.9% of immigrants who come here to live a better life, to contribute, and the natural amount of people in any group who will commit crimes. I mean, immigrants commit crimes at lower rates than native-born Americans, but in every group there's going to be people that commit crimes. What Trump does is he intentionally tries to blur that line and make it seem like everybody who comes over from another country is trying to commit crimes and they deserve to be in alligator Alcatraz or whatever you want to call it. So that is a normal, intuitive position that I just want to lay out for everybody. But this reads, top Florida official says alligator Alcatraz will likely be empty within days, email shows. The top official says the state-run immigration detention facility in the Everglades will be empty in a matter of days, even as Republican Governor Ron DeSantis is trying to fight for it. Ron DeSantis accidentally admitted as well that they wasted $250 million on this migrant detention facility as it faces closure. Mike Madrid points out, alligator Alcatraz has cost the U.S. taxpayer $250 million, and we're shutting it down. Trump's White House ballroom is costing $200 million. We are quite literally lighting money on fire, and he didn't even mention the Qatari jet, which is worth $400 million for Trump's own net worth, but we're actually spending $900 million refurbishing it, which we have to. We can't have the administration, a U.S. president, flying around in a bugged Qatari jet that maybe has traps in it. There needs to be a level of safety there, so we have to spend all of this money refurbishing it when we shouldn't have the plane in the first place. Here's Representative Maxwell Frost of Florida, the youngest representative, detailing what he saw when he visited the detention facility that I will not call Alligator Alcatraz.
They opened the door. There was about 6 security guards standing there kind of pushing us back, but we could see in and we could hear everybody. And when those doors opened, what I saw made my heart sink. I saw 32 people per cage, about 6 cages in the one tent. I saw a lot of people, young men who looked like me and people who were my age. People were yelling, help me, help me. I heard in the back someone say,
When these teachers get on the app and they tell you that they're passing y'all kids to the next grade level and they don't know how to read, y'all need to listen to them. My son is in high school. He has an advanced English class. They just took their national reading test. Most of the kids in his class got switched out to a lower reading class because they was reading at a 7th grade level in high school. This is my daughter, star reading test. She just entered middle school. It says she's reading higher than 75% of the students in her grade level. And that's nationally. It says that based on the national norms, she's reading at a 10th grade level. And these teachers tell y'all they're passing y'all students and they don't know how to read. Y'all need to listen to them. But y'all too busy worried about their outfits. Y'all too busy worried about what she wearing. I don't care about that kind of stuff. You need to be focused on why your child keep putting a period in front of the word and instead of a comma. Why they don't want to read, why they don't like school, why they think learning is stupid. The teachers are getting so desperate, the English teachers, that some of them are purposely finding books that got cuss words and provocative language in it, hoping that it just catch the students' attention and that they want to read it because they're desperate for the kids to read anything at this point. I am not joking. I'm not joking. Now everybody got their complaining out. We complained about what the teacher's wearing. The teachers is telling y'all that the students don't want to read. Now it's all out the way. Can we get back to teaching? I'm on the teacher side. I'm team teacher.
You know that them boys are staring at your backside. You know this. You know that them boys are fantasizing about you. That's weird because you keep putting on these outfits that allow them to have these type of fantasies. And you do it on purpose. You know that this stuff is happening. And I would probably excuse you if you were an elementary school teacher, maybe elementary school, but you definitely look like a middle school or high school teacher. Those boys are fantasizing about you.
I want to join the conversation about the teachers wearing the bodycon dresses and saying, I can't hide my booty. You want to know how I know that you can hide your booty in your dress? Because I can hide my belly in my Spanx. Just turn around, girl.
I saw a video of this girl basically saying that you are a predator if you are a female teacher who wear bodycon skirts and bodycon dresses to work. And I agree with her. Like, I understand it is hard to hide an ass, but bitch, hide it. You know what I'm saying? You can't hide your ass in front of these children. You gotta wear a bodycon dress. You gotta wear something tight. You don't have to wear something tight. Why are you going out your way to wear something tight? And the loud thing is that white teachers do it. Because here's the thing. I feel like y'all heard me say bodycon and just thought of that black woman teacher that's going viral. No, white woman teachers do it too. Y'all bitches be doing that. Why the fuck do you want to wear something tight in front of some little ass kids? What did you fucking the principal or something? Because y'all teachers be out here sleeping with each other. All right? Teachers be sleeping with each other. But for you to sit there and dress like that in front of some kids is ridiculous. Come on. We not at the gym. We not at the beach. We not at brunch. We not out with the girlies showing ass, shaking ass, none of that. You are in the classroom at 7:25 a.m. teaching some children. With your ass literally poking through a bodycon skirt. What? No, I think you're a predator. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I do not care. I wore a thong bikini, right? At Virginia Beach this year. And I literally had my pants off for 2 seconds because there's kids running around here. I don't want these kids just looking at my black over ass. It's just that simple. How are you guys comfortable walking around like that? You're only comfortable because you are a predator. You sick son of a bitches and
Y'all, and that's how the fucking cookie crumble. Watch the downward trend. Watch everybody, watch all these CEOs start to step down that has something to do with these freak-offs that happen in Diddy House. Y'all, this is just the beginning. Kevin Liles is the first of many CEOs that stepped down. Y'all, I'm telling you, it's about to get real crazy. They already said it's freak-off tapes. We already knew it. But now we about to start getting names of the people that was in them tapes. It's crazy how the people was bashing people like Cat Williams, Wendy Williams, when they was just speaking the truth. Dave Chappelle of the world. Like, y'all calling these people crazy when they been exposing shit. Like, don't try to backtrack now. I wonder if Jay-Z on these freak-off tapes or if he had something to do with it. His little weird ass. But once again, TikTok, this is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I don't know what I'm talking about. Jay-Z, of course, is a great person. Kevin Liles is a great person. Anybody I name is a great person. Y'all stay tuned. I'm telling you, all them people that Diddy named in that video, they probably in them freak-off tapes. They got him. They done locked up the diddler, y'all. So it all begins. Remember, Cat Williams said that this is the year that everything will come out. It's crazy how the tables turn, bruh. Once them people don't need you no more, they show you they don't need you no more. They let shit burn, like literally. When I say they, I can't say too much. Y'all know what I'm talking about for the ones that know. I can't speak too much on it. But y'all, it's about to get real fucking crazy. You remember that video that Diddy did when he was naming all them people, all them motherfucking celebrities? I'm telling you, he got some shit up his sleeve. Like, he finna blackmail them to the T. Everybody want that life. Everybody want to sell their yeah. But when you not doing everything in your power to upkeep your spot, they gonna replace you. And they don't just kick you to the curb like, here, have a nice day. Hell no. It's either you going to jail or they gonna make like you crazy. What's going on with Donald Trump, y'all? So I know everybody been hearing the reports about Donald Trump been going MIA for a couple days. Like, not speaking, not making no public appearances, nothing, right? And then the news, if you go search it up, you can see for yourself what I'm talking about. Everybody think he's gone. Gone. But that can't be true, right? Because he was just golfing today. This was Trump today. So what is people talking about? Do y'all notice anything? That's Trump, right? He was golfing. You got the Secret Service. This was today, y'all, so y'all can cut all the speculations about what people were searching up about Trump, because it's not true. As y'all can see, he's right there. He do look a bit tired though, right? He look tired. It's also a video of him at the golfing trip, y'all. People got videos of him walking a straight line and everything. So it's nothing weird to see. JD Vance made everybody think something else. Even me, I was like, what the fuck is going on? When JD Vance said this, he had everybody eyes like, what? Just reading that, what do y'all get from it? Trump is perfectly fine, y'all.
Some of y'all don't realize that the names that you're repeating from some of these movies are real demons, not just made up characters. Films like Hereditary, The Conjuring, Insidious, even The Exorcist, they use names like Pazuzu, Baal, Valak, even Azazel. Those aren't creative names, those are straight out of demonic rituals. So now you're wondering why? Well, because invoking a demon's name, even through entertainment, still gives it access to the atmosphere. The Bible says that demons respond to names. That's why Jesus used them to cast them out. So always remember, the devil is not trying to scare you. He's trying to familiarize with you. So when you say it or Google it or even wear it on merch, you've already agreed to an introduction. So stop playing with fire, because these movies aren't just entertainment, they're an invitation. Conviction over comfort. Follow me if you're into that. Shalom.
Former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak sent an email to Jeffrey Epstein, which was called Re-Island Visit, and in the email, he talks about how he was trying to arrange so that his security people did not come to Epstein's island. And then Epstein is talking about how he wants their NYPD contact information so he can probably clear it with them that they can't go to the island. I mean, a lot of questions here. What was going on? Why did Ehud Barak not want his security to come? If the women there were over the age of 18, something funny going on there. This was just made public by the people's hero, Brace Belden of TrueAnon, on Twitter, because journalists now have access to a huge trove of hacked, verified documents about Epstein's relationship with Ehud Barak, and there are many other things in there. So likely, over the coming days, we're going to finally find out some more about Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe we'll finally find out what Trump was doing with him.
This whole process of cloud seeding and weather manipulation can fully be weaponized. And that's what the conspiracy is that all these big countries like China trying to learn the technology of weather manipulation, because you can't prove it's like,
no,
oh, it's just the weather.
It's just random. Oh, we didn't. Oh, that's so sad. We didn't know.
Okay, so I'm on the NOAA.gov site right now. They have a bar that says weather modification project reports, and in that it defines weather modification. So this is, if you're doing weather modification, you are required to report these ways, which means they exist. These aren't theories. This is from .gov. I'll just start with the banger. Using lasers or other sources of electromagnetic radiation, releasing electrically charged or radioactive particles or ions into the atmosphere, releasing aerosols, gas, liquids, weather modification, and the one that I thought was really crazy is it says applying shockwaves, sonic energy sources, or other explosive or acoustic sources to the atmosphere.
It's getting crazy how quickly we just move past things.
I read a study that said the perpetrators normally go after someone who's meek and quiet and don't say anything.
Yes.
So they can move them to the next place. They will think that you're a good victim.
And a lot of women will kind of try to make themselves smaller and try to move out of the way. There's communication in everything we do. And what you're communicating in that moment is, I'm going to do what you want. If you're trying to intimidate me, I'm intimidated. If a perpetrator is going to attack you, it doesn't matter how you act. If you make him mad because you tell him you're uncomfortable, he was going to attack you anyways. So you might as well say, I'm uncomfortable, back up, no, and very assertively say it. And, we're taught not to do that. We're taught to quietly, excuse me, please don't do that. That's my bad. And we can't do that as women. We have to stand our ground. We have to say, no, 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 I am not going to be compliant. I am not meek and I am not quiet. And if you try to take me, it's going to go down. I'm going to fight back.
A brewing showdown between President Trump and the city of Chicago over his plans to send National Guard troops and ramp up ICE enforcement in the city. Today, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson signed an executive order to prepare the city in the event of a militarized immigration crackdown.
We have not called for this. Our people have not asked for this. But nevertheless, we find ourselves having to respond to this. And we find ourselves in a position where we must take immediate, drastic action to protect our people from federal overreach. Protecting Chicago will ensure that every Chicagoan knows their rights, that every single family is prepared, and every part of city government is directed to protect the people of Chicago from federal action. This sweeping executive order directs our Department of Law to pursue any and every legal mechanism to hold this administration accountable for violating the rights of Chicagoans. This order affirms that the Chicago Police Department will not collaborate with military personnel on police patrols or civil immigration enforcement. We will not have our police officers, who are working hard every single day to drive down crime, deputized to do traffic stops and checkpoints for the president.
You know, I'm Jewish and Irish. I wish I was black, and every white Jewish guy wishes he was black. This role is amazing. I mean, let's also just be real. Like, I wanted to be black. All the best players in the world were black. All the best.
Oh, why do you hang out with so many black people then, huh? What do you want to be black? Fucking a little bit. It's so much cooler some of the time, okay? Every white person wishes they were black a little bit. Any white person who says they don't is a fucking liar or a cop, okay? Do not believe that to be black. I want to be black. We live in a society that emulates black people. We want to be black, dress black, talk black. We text black. I sent out a text this morning. I was like, yo, what up? Where you at? I've never said that sentence out loud in my life.
Oh. So like for me, I think my family's been trying to be black for a long time. You're like the Kardashians in here.
Shout out to my brothers. Let's get it. Peace.
Okay, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. That was a lot to unpack. There were so many different, very interesting topics. Oh my goodness. I need to decompress. Look, I'm probably gonna take an anxiety pill. All I'm saying, I know that the 1990s video, I'm gonna have to change the music out because of copyright, but boy, the 90s were the best. The hair, the clothes, the cool. Oh my gosh, I was so cool back then. Oh my goodness, you couldn't tell me nothing. But I would like to say this to you guys. Please like, subscribe, hit the notifications button. Please come back for my future videos. Become a part of the TS Ditto Reacts team. And please, as I always say at the end, don't forget me. Thank you for coming. I'll see you next time. Bye.